Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, and today I would like to discuss fandoms. So the reason and the absolute pure inspiration for this episode is because as of today, once again, who knows when you guys end up actually getting this episode, but as of today, it is April 7th. It has been less than a week since the Devil May Cry Netflix anime has come out, and it has been, first off, I am happy that there's a ridiculous amount of Devil May Cry tweets. That does make me happy. On the other hand, there is people hating people. You can't be a fan if you like this. This was really dumb. That was really dumb. This was great. It's like, well, you're stupid for thinking that's great. Well, you're stupid for thinking it's dumb. And it just got me thinking, boy, oh boy, it doesn't matter what it is. When the fandom comes in, there's always something going on. There's always something that just, that anvil that drops, and then there's two sides, and then people are just mad. At this point, I have a review up, so feel free to check that out. I'll just tell you, I love the show personally. I'm a huge fan of Devil May Cry. I don't think it's relevant. This will probably insult some people, but I think you're kind of an idiot if you say, like, you can't enjoy this if you're a real fan. It's like, well, not everybody gets upset that something's a, non-canon adaptation of things. Do I think it's perfect? No. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. If I'm being totally honest, I loved it, and even with the issues I had, in terms of it not being canon, and even it doesn't have to be non-canon to change things, but it definitely changes things. Like it switches up a bunch of stuff, and it's like, oh, it didn't need to do that. But I still felt like once I got past the point of, well, it's not canon, I'll just see what it is, I still enjoyed it, except for that one point which has 100% to do with Lady. I wasn't too concerned about the political stuff. I was like, I'm not, I think it's pointless to do it, but it didn't destroy the story for me. But the Lady thing, I was like, that kind of sucked. So that's where my 1 point detracts, is from the personification of Lady. Even though I did like the cool outfit, it was doing something for me, I gotta be honest. Not as cool as your classic, but nothing really is. Although I do like her DMC5 costume. It was nice to at least see that for half a second. Not that I don't know if we should ever expect anyone to just be like, yep, Devil May Cry 3 costume. Like, it's unfortunate. It's such a cool costume, but it is definitely, let's face it, it's a schoolgirl costume. It has got to be the most sexualized costume that there is in anime outside of cheerleader costumes. And it's just like, yeah, you probably just won't see it. It's unfortunate, but it's a cool, she's so cool, it makes that costume cool. But outside of that, like I said, you guys can check out my review for all my full thoughts on the series and everything like that. When it comes to the fandom, and fandoms in general, as I said, this won't be just tied directly to, the Devil May Cry community or anything. It's just, like I said, the pure inspiration for, this episode because of everything that's been happening over this weekend and, the discourse about it. And we'll see what happens if, moving forward, we do get an official announcement of a season 2. I would personally love it. Of course, I enjoyed the show, so I'd like to see more. I think even if you don't like the adaptation, I feel like it still has value, especially with so many people arguing either for or against it. Just people talking that much about it will make people experience the games. Regardless of whether or not they like the show, I think it'll make people go, well, let me check it out. So, I'm curious. I'm curious how it'll play out, personally. But fandoms as a whole have a very interesting spot in the community of any franchise. You have the people that get really mad if you don't like this exact perfect thing. You have people that get mad if the thing isn't an exact perfect thing or what they thought it should have been. If there's a sequel to something, there's so many realms to it. Of course, being a nerd myself, obviously outside of video games, there is anime. Obviously, it's funny that the anime is the thing where it's like, oh, that's funny. There's never that much conversation when it comes to Devil May Cry outside of just, man, this game's awesome. But now there is something to actually split people down the middle, because I think universally 5 was just like, yeah, everybody was like, yeah, that's effing amazing. So, and then of course, before that, the reboot, everybody was like, yeah, this effing blows. So everything's it tends to be fairly synonymous. Like DMC1 is like, yeah. DMC2, DMC3, God tier. 4, it's good, but half-baked. DMC5 reboot, fun game to play. It is fun to play, genuinely speaking. It's even better if you play the redone version where when you do Devil Trigger, they don't send all the enemies into the sky. I still think about that as who thought that was a good idea? Why would you make it where I can never use my Devil Trigger just on the effing ground? I can't use any ground attacks when I use the special ability in the game. Everyone just flies up in the air. It's like you can only do air combos on characters because you just sent them flying. It's that makes no sense. But anyway, things tend to be a bit universal. This anime came out, split things down the middle. You know, like I said, people being told they're not real fans, which I find insane, but that's, I think, a big part of fandoms. When people get so pissed that they don't like something and you're wrong for liking it, it's crazy to me. Like, you're an idiot if you feel like that in anything. If you're like one of the My Hero people and you just get mad, like, you know, it's anime, all that good stuff. It tends to be anime. But there's always those people, no matter the fandom. You know, Star Wars has those people. There are actual races, you know, then there's, you know, not racist, you know, like, it's just how it is. There are people that are just dumb, no matter the fandom. And it's always interesting when you have a split like this where people are like, all right, I accept this thing for what it is, and then I hate this thing for what it is, and I hate you for accepting it. And it's like, oh, well, that's fascinating. That's a crazy thing. I personally don't tend to get myself wrapped up in it. I just kind of watch when something crazy happens and people are arguing. I just look at what people say. You know, obviously, you know, you like this, you don't like this. It is what it is. I don't tend to get involved in idiotic things such as what other people think about what I think. Like, that's got to be the biggest waste of your time you could possibly have. Why do you care what someone else thinks over an anime from a video game franchise? Be disappointed, 100%. And I will say this, I mean, Resident Evil is my favorite franchise, snuck it in there. And, you know, we've been beaten down for like 2 decades. You know, like, at this point, like, it would be almost weird if me as a Resident Evil fan was like, man, if it's not the perfect adaptation, it's garbage. Like, at some point in the last 20 years, I had no choice but to get over that. Like, you go through the stages. It's been done. Like, it's been beaten into me. It's been curb stomped straight into my head. Like, if you want a great adaptation, you better hope for it. And that's the best you can do. If it's not a great adaptation, just take it for what it is. You can't compare it. Like, once you know it's off, all right, well, let's see what it is as its own thing. I feel like that's a big part of kind of fandom stuff, is people get so stuck on what they wish it was, whether it's an adaptation or just even a decision that, you know, came about. I feel like people get so stuck on that where it's like, I wanted this. And it's like, at some point, you have to just be like, well, you didn't get it. You live in the real world. Like, you cannot just be stuck on, I wish it was this. That is not a good way to live any form of life, okay? Like, don't do that in general. Like, it doesn't have to be anime. It can be real life stuff. You spent time with the wrong person, you can't just be trapped on it. It'll ruin the rest of your life. You'll have no future if you're stuck in the past, honestly. So, in general, outside of just anime and video games, that's how you should live for your life. And when it comes to anime and video games and other nerdy things, it's almost pathetic that you care that much. Like, honestly, it's fake, people. Like, when it comes down to it, we all have the things that we truly love, and eventually you just have to say, dang, I'm disappointed, and you gotta keep on keeping on. Enjoy the good that you had, and that's just the way it is. You just gotta do it that way. You gotta treat it like a New Orleans funeral and not a classic funeral. You celebrate the life that there was, and you don't just sit there sad with a bunch of music playing and it's a little too warm in the room. Like, you gotta remember the good times. That's how you gotta do it. But fandoms will always be that, because there's always gonna be the people that are mad at the people that like the thing. There's always gonna be the people that are socially awkward. I mean, let's face it, we're nerds. You've probably been to a convention. You know the different levels. I would say I'm all right, and then, you know, you'd come across people where it's like, you are quite socially awkward. You just don't know how to act around humans. That's unfortunate for you, but that's just the way it is. And especially on the internet, it's a lot easier to be real mad and act like people just don't have a right to speak even or like something because you didn't think it was good enough. And it's like, that is really weird, and you've got some issues you really need to work out. But that's fandoms. Like, unfortunately, you just have toxic people that are so mad about a thing that they don't like, as if it chopped their dick off personally. Like, I just don't understand it. But I tend to be calm about everything. So, you know, it does not compute to me. I just don't get it. I don't understand being that upset about something that you're mad at other people. But it happens in everything. It happens in games. It happens in all sorts of things for all sorts of reasons. It can be this decision was dumb, this adaptation was stupid. Obviously, you can get the classic, you know, like it's classic at this point. This is woke, or DEI, lady boss, you know, the classic terms where I'm just like, oh, okay, like it is whatever. Like, all of it is not my problem. If I like something, I like it. If I don't, then I don't. I also tend not to be super critical of most things because I'm like, hey, I'm just here for fun. when it comes to my games, that might be slightly different if I'm really disappointed. I've talked before about, there are games that have disappointed me. Resident Evil 3, the remake, of course, because Resident Evil 3 is my favorite, so the remake, I was super hurt by that one. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is another one that disappoints me. No More Heroes 3 disappointed me. A lot of 3s disappointed me. Bayonetta 3 was disappointing, not nearly as much as the other ones, but I understand being disappointed by things and just being like, oh, that kind of sucks. I wish that was quite different. And then it's just like, man, that hurts. That blows. Like the Resident Evil thing, favorite franchise, that I would say affects me the most. But I'm not losing my mind over it. I'll think about it. I can still get upset if I actually have the conversation, but I'm past it. Like, it's life. You can't just be trapped. This thing is horrible, and if you like it, you're horrible too. That is so dumb. Like, I forgot the name of the meme. The hide your kids, hide your wife. But you are so dumb. Like, that is a perfect encapsulation. If you are that concerned about it, you gotta live life. You gotta live life. Like, honestly. Just in general, all the fandoms, everybody. But that's what happens. Like, there are people that love like a certain anime or something like that, and it's like, yeah, I just don't deal with the community. Like, that happens a lot for people when it comes to anime, because it's like, yeah, this community is super toxic, and I don't like dealing with that. And there are memes on toxicity in fandoms and stuff like that, and it's always entertaining for me personally, because like I said, I don't get bothered. So for me, everything's a laugh. You can say the darkest thing, and I'll probably laugh at it. But fandoms are such a fascinating thing. They can bring you so much joy. You can meet people that love the thing that you love, and then you just never know when the other shoe might drop. And then you're, public enemy number one. How could you like that thing? It's like, I just did. Like, I don't know what to tell you. My brain is, chemically speaking, my brain is different than your brain. The things I've gone through in life make this okay to me. Your life makes it not okay. And then somehow I'm not okay. That's crazy. I think that's just, a bit too far for me personally speaking, of course. But I would love to know your thoughts. What do you like? The ideas and just the madness that can come from the fandom, especially when there's an issue. It's just wild. And especially, being a nerd that goes to like conventions and stuff. I haven't been to I haven't been since the pandemic, actually. I have not gone to a convention since then. I just, once it was like that, and then I was just like, whatever. I just don't even think about it much anymore. But there's all sorts of stuff, even in just convention communities, and people are stupid and they get mad at each other, and then there's like public internet fights, and I'm like, this is pathetic. That's all I think. I'm just like, this is really pathetic. Like, this is what you guys are fighting over? Like, come on. Really? That's it? But people do pathetic things, and we just keep on keeping on. So that's life. I know this is a shorter episode, but I'm definitely going to end this one here. Like I said, being someone that is just like, I just watch the fandom. Like, I'm a part of it because obviously I like a thing, but I just don't need to have conversations where people are like, you're fake and this and that. I'm like, I don't care. I already spent, however many hours I spent watching the thing, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life concerned that you don't like that I like it. Who cares? Like, that's so weird. And why are you spending your life concerned that I do like it? Like, it's so weird. It's so odd to me. But fandoms, they'll never go away. But sometimes they can do great things. There are people that, get married because of the nerdy things they're into. So there's good in the fandoms. Obviously, there's great things. There's great things. There's the camaraderie, the community, the socially awkward people that might need the more extroverted nerds. People can meet up. It's possible. It happens. Good things can come from it. And then, obviously, any conversation on the internet can go south, instantaneously. It's the internet. People are just going to say stuff and then say you're trash for saying it. That's just how it is. But that's life. Outside of fandoms even, that's life. But those are my thoughts on fandoms. Like I said, this was just off the cuff type of thing where I was like, I just want to talk about fandoms. Like, I normally would never do that because I don't give a crap. As I may have clearly expressed with how neutral I am about situations like this, where it's like, this just like, you take it a step too far, and I'm just like, this is so unimportant to me. Like, instantaneously, like, you take one extra step, and I'm like, it's not worth any of this. I already watched it. I enjoyed it. I'm done. That's it. Beginning, middle, end was what the creator made. I'm not exactly concerned with what anyone else thinks. That's it. And that's how it should be. I think it goes without saying, don't let people force you to change your mind. If you like something, just like it. Be you. That's just how it is. If you don't want people, being crazy at you, sometimes maybe just don't say anything. If you're that concerned about, people saying something crappy to you, or a bunch of people saying you suck or whatever, which honestly has surprised me with the Devil May Cry thing, if I'm being totally honest, because I've never seen it before. And it was like, wow, there's idiots in our community. There's like, that's crazy. Can't just like an anime? That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, those are my thoughts. We'd love to know your thoughts on all things fandoms. It doesn't matter, anime, live action stuff, video games, music, movies, all of those things. I would love to know your opinions on them. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.